MPB is the largest global platform to buy, sell and trade used photo and video kit. MPB is the simple, safe and circular way to trade, upgrade and get paid for kit. Find out more at www.mpb.com.
Hello and welcome to the AV Forums Movies Podcast for Monday, the 6th of February, 2023. Tonight, I'm joined by Simon Crust.
I love Tom's jacket.
Mark Costello.
I too love Tom's jacket.
And Tom Davies.
I am Tom's jacket.
Nice. So for the first movies podcast of the year, our own dedicated night as well, we're going to be catching up on what's new in 2023. It's mostly seems to be Oscar-centric, Oscar-hopeful fodder from people like Spielberg or box office bombs like Babylon. And we're going to talk about standout performances from an unlikely group of people. Who would have ever picked standout performances from Brendan Fraser, Gerard, Butler, and Dave Bautista? Seems like an odd trio.
Cool people would be picking those performances.
I thought you said bald people.
Yeah. and a lead vehicle for Mel Gibson, which is just unheard of, which is not Lethal Weapon 5. Plus lots of great TV, but there's no 4K. I don't know what's going on with 4K. We're going to talk about what's going on with 4K later, but let's go straight to competitions, Mark.
Well, thank you, Mr. Harlow. So apparently you can win Studio Canal's Linie 1. I don't know how you pronounce that. It's German. And the final program, Watcher, DC's Legion of Superheroes, and Criterion's February titles, all of which are in my upcoming February top 10, which is live for early access supporters now, but not for me, ironically enough, and soon to be on general release for mere mortals such as myself and your good selves. There are still a few from my January top 10, like Emily the Criminal, Married to the Mob, and Criterion's January titles. All of those are available on Blu-ray. So head over to avforums.com/competitions to enter. And as ever, all competitions are open to eligible AV Forums members resident in the UK. Back to you, Mr. Harlow.
Nice. We've got a whole bunch of winners. I should do a quick shout out to everyone who won on the Christmas supporter competition. There were 50 titles up for grabs, and I think we had 39 that went out. So 39.
Can I have the other 11?
Yeah, someone asked that. You know, are there any spare? And I did give him one. But yes, I mean, basically, yes, you can't, Mark.
No,
it's gone now. You should have asked like a month ago. We're displaying all the competitions because there are so many out, but we'll read out a few of the supporter ones and some of the bigger ones. Whiff off one Scalextric's 1980s Back to the Future vs. Knight Rider race set. Cat 321 won the podcast exclusive Luca on 4K. Supporter Phileas won Revenge on Blu-ray. Supporter Simon Holden won Gangs in London Season 2 on Blu-ray. Supporter Mikey Cubed won The Driver on Blu-ray. Supporter Stevie DR won King Kong on 4K. Steelbook. Star supporter Tokusa won Cask D'Or on 4K. All the rest are stars. So stars Sam V 2001 won Orphan First Kill on 4K. UK won Picard Season 2 on Blu-ray Steelbook. Doc won Halo Season 1 on 4K Steelbook. And Big Ben Chunk won Criterion's December titles on Blu-ray.
Well done, everybody.
Absolutely.
Right. So it won't be as many winners next time. This is just because we haven't done one since like start of December, I think. Maybe even November.
It was start of December.
Yeah, but the last one we did was like not a competitions one. It was a interview one, so we couldn't read out the competitions because we'd have bored our guest rigid with 30 competitions. So...
As opposed to us just boring the audience.
You don't care about boring me, Richard, do you?
No, I don't, especially when you're on mute.
Best place for me, really, isn't it?
Yes.
Movie news. Well, no, you've got to talk movies, Tom. We're going to talk about movies. Oscars. You love this season. Oscar season. You want to give everything an Oscar. Give Oscars. Tom's going to award the Oscars tonight.
Am I?
No. So it's Oscar season. We got Kate Blanchett shooting for Best Actress in Tar, Spielberg shooting Best Picture in Fabelmans, and Brendan Fraser shooting for Best Actor in The Whale. I mean, it's a.
I hope he gets it, but I don't think he will.
No, but it's interesting.
It doesn't matter either way. Like, who gets it?
No, I know, but it's still
Be nice for him.
Yes, it's still interesting that the guy from The Mummy who disappeared off our screens for ages came back as a Tin Man. And
what are you talking about? The guy from The Mummy? It's the guy from Monkey Bone.
There you go.
George in the Jungle.
And disappeared, came back as Tin Man in Doom Patrol, which he's great in.
And he was in No Sudden Move as well last year, which he was fun in as well.
Yeah. And he's up for an Oscar, though.
Yeah, but you're also overlooking he's competing with Bullseye from Daredevil. Go figure that.
Yeah, it's true.
To be fair, Farrell did deserve an Oscar for Bullseye in that Daredevil. He was very funny. But anyway.
Yes. So there's a bunch of I think I wrote this in the Babylon review. There's a lot of love letters to cinema going on. I mean, Tom knows all about this. You can tell us about Fabelmans in a minute. Everything's about directors looking back on what brought them to cinema. And there's Sam Mendes did Empire of Light, which is just been announced coming to Disney. I'm assuming none of us have actually seen it, so we're gonna.
I don't think anyone's seen it, have they?
No, I don't think so. So we're gonna check it out in March when it drops on Disney, which is probably the best place for it. But that utterly tanked, and we got Spielberg's, which you're going to tell us about, and we've got Chazelle's love-hate letter Babylon, which I'll speak about in a second. But are we going to give Fabelmans Best Picture and Best Director, Tom? Come on, it's all up to you.
I don't care. I have no interest.
Tom doesn't care.
One way or the other. I mean, I think it's as a rule, I personally find this isn't cinema wonderful genre of film quite annoying, quite irritating. That's why I was not gonna go anywhere near Babylon, because I could just see it happening. And in fairness to Steven Spielberg, Fabelmans has an air of that, but it does a really good job of puncturing it as well with here's the cold truth about how hard it is, and doesn't matter how talented you are, unless you get the stroke of luck, then you're basically grafting for nothing. It's not all that. There's an element of that in the final act of it, and that was enough to make me think okay, it's not all rose tinted, because I get really, really tired with that stuff. And it was one of the reasons that I didn't go and see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when it was first out, because I was isn't filmmaking great? And it's yeah, I like films too, but I don't necessarily need to see a self-indulgent director with a lot of money telling me all about it. That being said, I really did like The Fabelmans. It is a really good film. Really warm, fuzzy, comfortable movie that just absolutely zips along and is full of really winkly nods to Steven Spielberg's filmography. Lots of little shots, lots of little framing in there for you to say, that's from Indiana Jones, that's from E.T., that's from War of the Worlds for some reason. And it doesn't over-egg that either. It's the interesting thing about it. Well, I suppose I should just say what it's about first. It is the life of young Steven Spielberg, discovering his love for filmmaking while his parents go through a breakup. And it is autobiographical with a tiny pinch of fiction. The only pinch of fiction is that the names have been changed for some reason. That's it. Everything else, as far as I can tell, the level of detail in it is so specific and so real that it just all feels pulled from memory. Like I didn't mention in the review, but the attention to sound design, particularly in the movie, there's lots of things like the crinkle of tablecloth, like a paper tablecloth as it's folded up. It's purposefully brought to the forefront so that, you know, normally that's the sort of thing that you would want to damp out of the scene, but Spielberg really like amps it up so you're hearing basically what he heard when he was a kid, and stuff like that is really nice. And although it does spend a lot of time just homaging his own stuff, it doesn't feel like intrusive. It feels like a cycle of cinema. So he watched these films, then these things happened to him, then he made his own films. Now he's showing us those things that happened to him through the lens of the films that he's made. And it's quite a nice little like Russian nesting doll of filmmaking. So it's really, really lovely. It's not amazing. It didn't blow me away. And in that respect, I was a little bit disappointed because I was kind of hoping it would. But it's definitely worth a look. If you have any love for Spielberg movies whatsoever, and who doesn't, you should try and check it out because it's great. And it has a final scene which completely ruins the rest of the movie in a good way. Like the rest of the movie is great and the final scene is magnificent. And yeah, so go check it out. It's great.
8 out of 10 best cinematography, eh?
For sure.
What about The Whale?
I mean, I haven't got that much to say about The Whale. I think it's done the rounds enough. This is Brendan Fraser's comeback movie. It's not really his comeback movie because, like you say, he's been on TV and in movies for the last couple of years. But this is his big moment, his starring role. And it's
a Mickey Rourke wrestler moment, isn't it? Particularly
absolutely
Aronofsky.
The parallel doesn't end there either. It's a guy who's an English teacher. He's housebound because of his weight, suffering a lot of health problems. And the film is just a few days of his life where visitors come in and out and interact with him. And we see his troubles mirrored in their troubles and the way he deals with things, contrasted by the way that other people say he should be dealing with things, but also their coping mechanisms aren't super healthy either. And that's it, really. It's a direct port of a stage play, and it looks like it. It is essentially one room. It is one room. It's one set. And there's not much imagination been put into moving it from stage to screen, which I don't know. It's not necessary, but at the same time, it felt kind of flat, especially for Aronofsky, who has such typically a dynamic style of shooting. Lots of following people around, lots of disorienting shots. That's kind of the sort of thing that you would expect, but it's not. It's so straightforward. It's his most straightforward film that he's ever made, I think, probably. And yeah, the parallels with The Wrestler are that it is an aging, or I guess a middle-aged guy struggling with his life and anxieties and depression, and sort of punishing his body in order to deal with it.
And
but it's not
reconnect with his daughter.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's not as competent. It's not as interesting. It's not as challenging. It's not as deep. The only thing to recommend about it is Brendan Fraser, because he's just so charismatic and so just like he's got a lot of power, just natural power, and that comes across. But that's it. That's the movie. And you can base a film around one performance, and sometimes that works really well. But everything that's sort of in the peripheries here is so overwrought and so kind of like oversimplistic, and it just felt a little bit gross. It felt a lot like point and watch this weird guy as he breaks down, and it just felt a little bit invasive and a little bit gross and a little bit manipulative, and I felt a bit icky afterwards. So
it's disappointing.
Yeah, it is.
I probably will watch it for Brendan Fraser.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. Basically, is the answer to that one. Same with Blanchett and Tar. Although Tar is, reading both reviews, it would seem a much more watchable movie. But again, you're riding entirely on, potentially Oscar-winning performance. Notwithstanding the fact that I think they might have disqualified themselves by, I think, mentioning another film that deserved an Oscar less for its best lead actress performance. But, these things happen clearly in Hollywood. I've seen Babylon, the film that you didn't want to see, Tom. I don't think many people wanted to see it. I mean, it's a really odd choice. It's 3 hours and 15 minutes long. It's Damien.
Everything's
Chazelle.
3 hours these days.
Everything is 3 hours
Everything
long.
is
I just
3
finished
hours
Wakanda
long.
Forever, and it took me a month. I don't get what's up with the 3-hour movies. I don't get who greenlit like an $80 million movie, clearly, hard R rated, but about, the change from silent movies to the golden era of Hollywood, that birth of talkies era.
Singing in the Rain did a good job with that.
Yeah, I mean, this is...
Is it as good as Singing in the Rain?
It's got Singing in the Rain in it. Does that count?
Yeah,
it's got lots of Singing in the Rain in it. I mean, it's a really odd choice to greenlight a movie like this for this budget. I know he's the guy behind Whiplash and La La Land, and I know he was Flavor of the Month. He is I don't know, Flavor of the Month, but it's a very excessive movie. It doesn't feel like a love letter to Hollywood at all. It feels like a bit of hate mail. It's like really, really unpleasant orgies going on. A lot of bodily fluids everywhere, frequently from animals or prosthetics. It's just an exercise in kind of trying to shock you and trying to show you how unpleasant and depraved and unruly Hollywood was back then. Presumably, presumably highlighting that it kind of is still. So that doesn't feel like a love letter at all. I mean, everyone gets screwed, and everyone is, suffers at the hands of a very fickle studio machine. It's got moments of genius. So, like when there's a switch from silent to talkies, the technology is a real big hurdle. Like they just haven't had to deal with sound on set before. So having to get the actors and actresses who previously didn't have to worry about that to suddenly learn lines and then hit marks where no matter how good they were, if they didn't hit the mark, they'd have to reset and do it again. And, no one could have any metal on sets because it would interfere with the microphone. Really ridiculous attention to detail, but it's almost farcical watching it happen. But you can see the level of frustration by everybody involved in attempting to do a movie with sound at that kind of turn in technology. And things like that feel very insightful. But as a whole, I don't think it really comes together. It is a spectacle. I mean, it is something kind of to be seen and endured, love, hated. I don't know. Brad Pitt's very good in it. Margot Robbie is Harlequin, except in the like 20s, 30s, 40s, and yeah, I mean it's worth seeing, but another film you need a month to watch, really, and people are going to get it on streaming and do it. Stop making 3-hour films, or
Yes.
you know what, make it as a 6-part limited TV show, because that it felt.
No, I don't want more of that. I don't want another 6-part TV show, Kaz. I don't want that.
Do it, because it felt like there was more to tell, and yet it was 3 hours long and I couldn't get out of it fast enough. So it's one of those things as a movie. Anyway, switching tack very, very vastly from Hollywood excesses to Gerard Butler's maybe one of his best performances, Mark.
I was going to say, it's something when you say switching tack from Hollywood excess to the latest Gerard Butler film.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, I had to get this one approved in the household to watch, and the first thing my wife did was Google it, and it says something like blisteringly tense action film, and she's raising an eyebrow at me, and I'm like, look at Mark's review.
I was going to say, why wasn't my review the first thing you showed her? You know what? Forget it.
Ask Google SEO for that. but anyway, I point her to your review, and she's like, "Oh, okay, we'll try it." And you were spot on. It doesn't feel like a Gerard Butler action film.
No,
which is a real compliment to it. Notwithstanding the people out there who are like, "Where's my Gerard Butler action film?" But yes, tell us about Plane. Come on.
Yeah. Well, Plane was a very, very nice surprise, like you said. It sets itself up, and I think it was a deliberate act on the part of everyone concerned to set this plane up. It's heading into a storm. There is a violent criminal, handcuffed out the back, and that Gerard Butler's the man because he's got a name like Brody Torrance. So it's all set up for some kind of crazy sub John Woo, B movie, DTV, late night Friday night beerathon. But then all the way through the opening bit, there's little subtleties that go, well, hang on, it might not quite be that. Let's have a look at the minutiae of actually what it takes to take a plane off.
Yeah, it's crazy detail. Yeah,
it's madness about talking about, well, whose iPad has got the weather formation on, and all this kind of stuff. So typically, yes, the plane is flying home on New Year's Eve. It hits a rough patch of weather. The electrics are hit by a bolt of lightning. It loses all power, and Gerard Butler has to land the plane. So far, so good. Yet, what isn't so far so good is he actually manages to land it fairly easily on an island after 20 minutes. And you go, well, hang on. Where's the rest of this film? Where's the violent criminal taking over and all this kind of stuff? And then what you realize is that the film is trying to take a much more measured approach to typical action beats. So yes, it lands on this island, and yes, this island is populated with renegade militia who would, just as much kill someone with their Russian AK-47 than they would actually have a conversation with anyone. But the whole approach, the whole tone of this is much more, look, these people exist. This could happen. What do we think would be a more realistic view of this scenario as opposed to the Hollywood version? So it's a really interesting approach to it. I think I said in the review that the film that instantly sprang to mind was Captain Phillips. Yeah. That was a measured, grounded approach to a very typical Hollywood scenario. And I mean, I think they were taking the piss a little bit, the makers, because right at the very end, no spoilers or anything. Well, let's just say Gerard Butler gets the exact same emotional beat that Tom Hanks did at the end of Captain Phillips.
And didn't he get one?
Yes. But overall, I mean, I was really torn because I came out of the cinema going, well, actually, that was a very, very enjoyable, entertaining film. It was entertaining and enjoyable because it wasn't the usual DTV, let's blow everything up kind of crap. But then right at the very end, just as it's all getting a little bit excitable, someone brings out a 50 cal, and you get a little glimpse of the insane excess that, you know, a glorious B movie can give you. Take the end of Rambo, you know, the fourth one, Rambo 2008, when that 50 cal's just blowing people up, and you know you shouldn't enjoy it, but you do. You know, there's a hint of that, and there was almost a promise of, while I love it for not being that, I kind of wish it was a little bit more. So it was a very, very interesting film, which again is not often a word I would ever use to describe a typical Gerard Butler film. So
it's not Butler on the Barrett either. He's not firing the shells. But it is a very, very
spoiler.
No, I mean, no, I'm just saying maintaining the kind of realism of it is not, it's not him like going full Rambo.
And possibly the most realistic part of it, ironically enough, was he's stuck on this island. The entire world doesn't know where he is. He fixes a rickety old landline and gets through to the airline. And the first thing the woman on the end of the phone says, "Piss off, you're a crank caller," and puts the phone down on him. I thought, now that's real world. That's customer service for you, that is. So, good fun. But it's one of those where if you want it to be a Gerard Butler explodathon, you ain't going to get it. So expectations may need slightly tempering.
I was hoping it was a stealth Geostorm sequel, but is that not?
Oh, I would watch a stealth Geostorm. I like Geostorm.
It's pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Sounds like you've seen it, Simon.
Yeah,
Did you expect
I have.
a Gerard Butler film?
No, well, I didn't really know what to expect.
Again, if you'd read my review, Simon.
Yeah, well, see, but
I don't know why I bother. Quite frankly,
gets into, you know, because that tells you more than you need to know. It didn't, for me, quite escape the direct-to-video thing. It didn't quite jump that hurdle. It still felt like a bit like it to me. You know, the slightly too long scenes, the bit right in the middle when his daughter's doing the recording, you know, it's just little bits you're thinking, well, maybe if you'd have trimmed that there and give it a bit more punch. But it was very good, and the ending, you know, a bit too long. But that 50 cal, that was awesome. That was truly great.
As long as they don't
and that was true. What that would do to an engine block is actually true.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
so as long as they don't cock the sound mix up on that disc, that is going to be a must-have demo scene.
Yes, it was very satisfying seeing.
Where you say disc, who's distributing it?
Yeah, that's true. This is an Amazon Prime jobby, isn't it? This is straight onto Amazon Prime.
Oh, balls. Sorry, Mr. Bezos. Sorry.
Or Disney will get it, and then we'll definitely see a 4K release. And then when we see a 4K release, the Atmos will be great.
My filter knob. Yes, let's filter all that low end off. You don't need any of that.
Yes. Well, okay. So Gerard Butler's not the only one who's surprising us. We had Brendan Fraser, we had Gerard Butler, and we got Dave Bautista. Now, he was in Knives Out too, and I quite liked him in that.
I surely it's not a surprise that he's great. Like, okay, Drax is a bit of a one-note horse, as we say in my house, which is a phrase without any meaning whatsoever. But you get the gist.
No, I think he's great as Drax, but like Army of the Dead.
No, okay, Army of the Dead, but then you think like Blade Runner. He's
good in Blade Runner.
In the introduction to Blade Runner. That was the point at which I was like, oh, he's not the Rock. He's an actor.
You mean Final Score?
Oh, I had a good time with Final Score.
I mean, so did he.
I had a good time with that.
It's no sudden death.
Here's Brosnan at Upton Park. Come on. I'm having some of that. Thank you very much.
I mean, I think it's nice seeing him do stuff that doesn't play to, you know.
Well, I think interestingly enough, in Knock at the Cabin, I think it needed. You said that it needed Bautista because it needed that physicality, and then he needed to completely play against it. So obviously, the Knock at the Cabin, for those of you that have been under a rock for the last few weeks, this is the latest from M. Night Shyamalan. Ironically, he adapted it. It's not his story. It's from a novel. called, with a much better title, is it The Cabin at the End of the World? Why they changed that, I do not know. That's a great title. And the premise is a couple and their young daughter are holidaying in a cabin in the forest, and 4 strangers show up, conduct the most polite home invasion you have ever seen, and promptly tell them that if one of them, the family have to make a choice and sacrifice one of the family, otherwise the entire world will end. And that's how it kicks off. So it's very much an existential, angsty drama. It's all about the what would you do. Shyamalan builds some nice little twists and turns into, as we said, the foursome that break in, which also include Ron Weasley himself, Rupert Grint, all to some degree play against type. And it's an interesting way to unsettle the audience, because when you think about the premise, my fear was, if you think about that setup, there's only 3 ways it's going to end. There are only 3 ways that story is going to end. And so you think, well, how is he going to mix this up? How is he going to keep the suspense going? How is he going to keep surprising? And one of the things he does is he throws in some of these character beats, which only works because of the cast. And Bautista is his hulking presence. He doesn't shy away from it. His tattoos are out, his muscles are, but he is the calmest, most polite, most thoughtful, kind of individual. And just that juxtaposition, it almost keeps you on your toes, because you have no idea where it's going to go from his character perspective. So the premise is well done. Shyamalan shoots it really well. There's an awful lot of close-ups, real intense close-ups, because what he does is this is a human drama, and he's playing it in the faces of the actors. So there's not a lot of flash. He's reliant on his cast, and his cast to pull through. The fact is, it's that ending, and I don't want to say too much about it, but my fears going into the film were absolutely manifested with its ending. It is a disappointing ending for me. It's a film that can't stick its ending.
Oh, it's just that. I mean, isn't that just M. Night all over though?
Well, sadly, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom, have you read the book?
No, but I can't remember the last time that I went into an M. Night movie and 10 minutes in thought, I really hope it doesn't end like this. And that's exactly how it ends. And I've been doing that since The Village,
Yeah. So
I'm bored.
Split was pretty good.
Split was good. And so was The Visit, actually. Although, once again, 10 minutes in, I was like, no, I know what this is doing. At least it was good getting there. But
I mean, to some degree, that is Knock at the Cabin. It's good enough. But what made it all the worse is, if you read about how the book ended, because it was all over the media about how Shyamalan changed the ending of the book. And I won't go into anything, but let's just say a darker, more thought-provoking, more interesting ending was there on the page for him. And he chose to not take it. Now, I can kind of understand why, because when I say it was darker, man, it went dark. And there's probably no way on God's green earth the mainstream, Hollywood studio would greenlight that ending. Although they did it with, similar films like The Mist, for example, they went there. So there has been precedent. But he had the ending on the page, and knowing that he went out of his way and changed the ending to something which was far blander, far more vanilla, far more. I mean, I've seen some people go, and the twist with Shyamalan is he gave us a twist because he didn't give us a twist. And you go, no, you're an ass. That's a load of old rubbish. So it's one of those where, for 3/4 of the film, it's interesting, it's well acted. There is still that existential question of what would you do, all this kind of stuff. It just craps the bed, excuse the French, in the end.
I'm not going to watch this.
I am so done with his sub Twilight Zone ass movies. I'm not. I've given up on him. I just any time he gets his hands on a good idea, he absolutely whiffs it, and I'm just done with it.
Maybe we'll do another Unbreakable movie. Oh no, he can't.
No, there is enough in there. There is more than enough in there. Like you said, if I hadn't realised how the book ended, I'd have upped my score. but knowing that the one area that was problematic going into it, problematic coming out of it, was the one area he bloody well changed. Everything else is there in the book, apparently. All the characterization, all the interesting, cool bits, they're all there in the book. And yet, yeah, he stiffs the ending. So he lost marks with me, man. He lost marks, man.
We'll see Drax and Ron Weasley together in the MCU pretty soon, because supposedly Disney have got their eye on the Potter universe. So that's the holiday special I'm looking forward to, where Drax throws Ron Weasley out of a window. That would be good, wouldn't it?
Drax goes to Hogwarts.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see that, though. It
Perfect.
would be fun.
Yeah, I agree. I want to see that too. It would be franchise-licious. Let's do it.
I tell you a movie I expected to be an absolute train wreck. I mean, so much so that there's a Friday and I'm sitting there and I got two choice movies to watch. I got to watch a Netflix movie with Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy. I've got to watch an Amazon movie with Jennifer Lopez called Shotgun Wedding. I watched the trailer for the Eddie Murphy Jonah Hill movie and I'm like, that's just not going to be funny. It looks
pretty cringe.
Look, the trailer looks terrible. I'm going to watch this Shotgun movie. Can't be worse than the trailer for the
Sophie's Choice.
That's
not what that means.
Not what it means. That's what it's become. Ever since someone put that on one of Tom's reviews, it's not Sophie's Choice. Anyway, so while I'm making a Sophie's Choice decision,
you see,
I watch Shotgun Wedding, and it's like one of the worst films I've seen all year. Don't anyone make this same mistake. I mean, I warn people by writing reviews for both these films. Don't do it. The film, the Eddie Murphy film, you people, it's not even an Eddie Murphy film. It's like Jonah Hill, straight through, wrote it, produced it, stars in it. He's great in it. It's funny, it's got chemistry, and it's got an Eddie Murphy who's acting a role, which is really weird. He's not Axel F or a derivative of. He's acting a role, almost to the point where Butler style, you want him to kind of slip back into being trademark Eddie Murphy.
Does he swear in it?
Of course he swears in it, but he doesn't. It doesn't seem like one of his usual roles. He's very, very straight in it.
Well, that's the rule, isn't it? If Eddie Murphy swears, it's an all right Eddie Murphy. If he's not swearing, he's terrible.
No, he swears a lot.
Oh. What swears does he do, Kaz? List the swears.
Yeah. All of them. All
the swears.
All the swears. All the swears.
All the swears.
Yes. My daughter asked me about the C word and said,
"Oh, nice."
Said, "Is it crap?" And I went,
"Yes,
yep,
correct."
That's the C. I heard there might be another. No, that's the one. That's the only one you need. This is a pretty good Jonah Hill movie featuring Eddie Murphy acting, and it's for Netflix.
It's so funny, isn't it? That like we're at the stage where if you say, "Oh, it's a Jonah Hill movie," you go, "Okay, that might be okay." And if someone says, "Oh, it's an Eddie Murphy movie," you go, "I don't think I'll watch it."
Yeah,
which you would think it like 10 years ago. Flip that around. No, Jonah Hill's really come in something in the last few years.
Yeah, he's great in it. It's so much better than the trailer. So much more on point, funny, just at times sweet. Simon's seen it and thought it was rubbish. You know what
it came off as a poor man's Larry David film, all improvised and just cringeworthy humor, and didn't do anything for me whatsoever.
You got to watch Shotgun Wedding first, man. You got to watch Shotgun Wedding first.
My concern is that it will be more woke than Puss in Boots. Is it more woke than Puss in Boots, Kaz?
My woke meter got broken. I'm gonna get one reinstalled, but when I do, I'll be able to assess everything in terms of woke.
I think we need to put it on as like a sub score.
I think we should,
somewhere.
woke out of 10 or out of W.
Just
Just
woke
a
out of
letter
10.
out of W.
And the score for this is woke out of 10.
Yeah.
No, out of W.
Yeah.
It'll be like B out of W.
It's PC gone mad out of woke.
Yes. Divided by.
What?
So, Mel Gibson.
Don't bring maths into this.
Mel Gibson. Okay,
Yes.
we're talking about, there was a time when Eddie Murphy would get you to watch a movie. There was a time when Mel Gibson might get you to watch a movie. Not anymore. And he's been in a lot of terrible movies. Like, he's taken the mantle from Willis and Seagal.
No one's taken the mantle off Willis.
No,
Come
okay,
on.
fair enough. But
Be fair.
he's done some interesting cameos in bad movies. And his latest film is called On the Line, which is the Seagal 3-word title extravaganza. I mean,
It sounds like what your grandma might call the internet. Gosh, it's on the line.
It's all right. And I'm going to say it's most remarkable for the fact it's the first movie in a good long while I've seen where Mel Gibson was the star. It's like a thriller, and he's on the line with someone who holds him hostage on air, threatening his family.
Oh, phone booth.
Yes.
Or
Boom.
feedback with Eddie Marzan.
Well,
there we go.
Interestingly, it is like a movie that I have not mentioned in the review, and that people aren't going to guess. But if you see it and see the ending,
Sing in the Rain.
You'll
go
Who Framed
Singing
Roger Rabbit?
in the Rain.
Pinocchio.
You will go
Citizen
Singing in the
Kane.
Rain.
Paddington 2.
Yes,
What is
all
it?
of them.
Cinema
What?
Paradiso.
It is the Paddington 2 of phone booth movies. Anyway, but it is a
I
very,
really want to know what that film
very
is.
divisive ending.
Belly of the Beast.
I gotta say that if you can wrap your head around it, you might enjoy it, but most people can't, and I get that because it is crazy and stupid.
Was it all a dream?
Yes.
There we go.
Oh, this is... No, you told me about the ending to this, and I'm never going to watch it.
I want to watch it even more now. I'm going to watch it.
I'm watching the movie, and I'm describing the ending to Tom, and the ending is unfolding whilst I'm describing it. So I'm like, and this has happened. This is really stupid. Oh, no, wait. No, this has happened. And this is even stupid. No, wait, this. And Tom just stops reading my messages. Yeah, I did. It's got a trifecta of twist and then twist and then twist. One of them's fairly clever, and the movie it imitates is very good.
Is he dead? Does he see dead people?
Yeah, it is that.
Is that the twist?
Shamaya Lama Lama Lam.
Yes.
But no, it is nice to see Gibson in a lead. He can carry the movie. Should be doing better stuff. Understand why he's not. But
I thought he was ace in Daddy's Home too.
I haven't seen a new Mel Gibson movie since What Women Want.
Expendables 3.
Nope.
No, you wouldn't have seen Expendables 3.
Honestly, I guarantee you that was the last time I saw Mel Gibson at the cinema.
Bloodfather.
Nope.
What's that Gringo film he did that's got 19 other job titles?
Great.
Nope.
I know it is.
That is great.
I know it is. Get Me the Gringo. Is that the one?
Get the Gringo, also known as
How I Spent My Vacation.
Summer Vacation.
That's the one.
Is one of his absolute best films in the last 20
Dragged Across
years.
Concrete.
Dragged Across Concrete is great, but the thing about Get the Gringo...
I haven't seen Dragged Across Concrete, but I will watch that because Brawl and Bone Tomahawk are both awesome.
Yes. And Brawl, yes, and Dragged Across Concrete's right up there.
Okay.
But Get the Gringo is
it's a great film.
Like an indie payback sequel.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. Really good.
Yeah.
Very, very shot for nothing. Got all of the style and charm you could imagine. It's a great little movie. I think he directed it, didn't he?
No, I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't know.
we're going to quickly talk 4K before we run out of time. We're going to keep this to the hour.
Don't we have to talk about
podcast.
Tom's jacket?
What's Tom's jacket?
That's the question.
Why do we have to talk about Tom's jacket?
We just had a message flash up. Do you not
What,
read
Tom's
it?
thumbs?
Honestly.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Do you know what? Just keep up.
Yeah.
Come on.
Let's not talk about Tom's jacket. Now I've seen what it is. We just have to leave it to the listeners.
This is it's the podcast competition. What is Tom's jacket?
No,
What has it got in its pockets? That's the podcast.
that should
question.
be
No,
that should be.
That's it. That's admissible in court, Tom.
Yes. No, we talked about how nice your jacket was, Tom. You got to explain about the jacket for
show us
people
your
who can't
jacket.
see the jacket. You have to describe the jacket, Tom.
It's like it's a graphical pattern which is an exact replica of it's like
I thought it was going to be serious.
Yeah, I mean, if you know, you know.
I'll just bloody say it's Boba Fett's Mandalorian armor.
Oh shit! Is that what it is?
This is the way.
You know
What a nerd!
You are terrible. Honestly, I'm towing the AV Forums corporate line here. I just want that noted for the record.
Noted. What's on 4K? Is there anything on 4K? No one's doing 4K.
Warner Brothers
You
is.
still
The
do
weird.
What's
the
that about?
Weird Warner Brothers box.
So
well, no. I tell you what.
We've just done Sony. No. Let's dial back.
Okay.
Simon's reviewed all of these Columbia box sets, which are pretty good. But you know,
even Annie.
No, that's not good. So they are a bit hit and miss, but there are enough. I would say there are enough reasons to get it, but in their sets, and then Sony, which did the Columbia box sets, did the Sony box sets.
That's a wonky set of films.
The Sony
is a bit wonky because the people who are going to go, yeah, I really need that.
Yeah, they're not
aren't the same people who are going to go, I really need that.
Yeah, individually, none of them are bad movies, but like you said, that's not a collection of movies. That's
not for any one person. Yeah,
I was going to say, but two of us here have bought it.
So we could review it, of course. Not so we could sell each title for $50 on eBay.
Yeah.
I loved Run Lola Run. Mark loved Devil's Backbone, and I enjoyed some of the other, and City of Lost Children. I enjoyed some of the others, certainly discovering them, but I can't imagine my way around this 11 film box set. It's such an odd choice. But now we've done better. Warner have gone, forget your 11 films. We'll have 30. Like 10 from each randomly picked era.
I think, but the thing is, like, Warner have picked some absolute blinders to go 4K and some that you can't get anywhere else, which is pretty sneaky.
Yeah, but not many.
But not many.
How many is it? 3, 4? How many of them are new?
They reckon. So if you read the blurb, it talks about films that are included that are exclusive to the set, and I think there's only 3. So, for example, Enter the Dragon and The Exorcist,
which are the ones you want.
Yeah, of course. We know are coming as individual release. So of the 30, it looks like there's about 3 that are going to be exclusive. I mean, I've already bought 20 of the 30 already.
So what's the logic? Is just £10 a disc, start a collection, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's if you don't have an existing collection, this is an awesome set of films to start you off at a reasonable price per movie.
Yes. So all Warner need to do is like build a 4K player and then sell it with this bundle as a starter set.
Except that what they've done is they've broken it down. So there's the 30 disc set for 300 quid or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then in that set, you've got 10 films from each era, which is like Golden Age, New Hollywood, modern blockbusters. Something like that.
Really dodgy, yes.
Yeah. But so breaking that down, they're releasing 3 individual box sets, but they're only selecting 5 movies from each era for the individual box sets. And invariably, the 5 movies they've chosen for each era are the ones everyone's got, which
yeah.
And there's some
Bonkers.
baffling titles. They've put It Chapter 1 and No Chapter 2.
Yeah, I saw that. What?
There are some
understand.
odd picks.
It's like
Oh, well.
in the era of modern blockbusters, The Matrix is in there. It's like if you own a 4K player and you don't own The Matrix, like what are you doing?
Although I do
strange.
like the way that they don't respect any of the sequels.
Yeah, no,
That's quite
legitimate.
Yes,
It should be The Matrix 1 and 4. Those are the two Matrixes.
So that we're not going to cover that. I'm just saying we're going to talk about it loads
because
but
it would have been released. It's mental.
Yeah, but we're not getting that in. We're just going to get The Exorcist, and then Mark's going to talk to Tom about how good it is while Tom doesn't have it.
It is brills.
Yeah. What's coming soon, Mark? On 4K. What can we look forward to?
Exorcist 3 is coming in on 4K.
That's a good film.
Yes,
It's a great film.
It is a good film. We don't need it in 4K. No, we've got so since last we met, dear listener, dear viewer, a soupçon of interesting announcements. The first ones come from Artificial Eye, who are releasing some classics on 4K: The Double Life of Veronique and the Three Colors trilogy.
Nice.
They're both coming on the 3rd of April. Interestingly enough, Criterion in the States are releasing their own 4K box set of the Three Colors trilogy tomorrow, and already that their internet is up in arms about they've changed the color. They've changed.
All the colors are reversed.
No,
It's like
Oh dear.
It's
blue
now
is
white,
red,
blue, red. What on earth?
Three colours,
Why?
pink, orange, and blue. Yeah.
It's now cyan, magenta, and yellow.
So that's going to be interesting. Second Sight, everyone's favorite Second Sight, have released the specs of their Texas Chainsaw Massacre Uber set, and it looks amazing.
It's got a book. It's got a book in it, and it's a hardback.
Books, as well as a few discs, possibly, but mostly books.
And an extra art card if you pre-order it.
Cool.
Honestly,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yep.
Tom, jaded.
I'm not jaded because I got it.
Yeah, me too.
Pre-ordered.
We've
all
all
got it.
pre-ordered it. It's fine. More interestingly, Indicator have finally announced their first 4K releases, and in brilliant Indicator style. They haven't gone for any classics. No,
It's nuts, isn't it?
Hardcore Euro horror smut. Absolutely brilliant. Do you want one film about lesbian vampires? Well, get stuffed. We're giving you 2. Honestly.
Isn't the stuff Indicator have got? They've got like Paul Schrader movies in their back catalogue.
Yeah.
They've got John Carpenter movies in their back catalogue. No, man, we're going to go lesbian vampires.
Rollin. And not even Henry. Jean Rollin. Shiver of the Vampire and 2 Orphan Vampires on the 24th of April. But Hollywood, the Hollywood bigwigs are, they're not to be forgotten here. Paramount have jammed its vault door open and are releasing 2 of, how the format has survived without these so far is beyond me. But The Core and Red Eye.
The Core is great. The Core is great. I enjoy Red Eye, but The Core, unobtainium.
The Core has previously been unobtainable, so now we can get it.
Is such tremendous nonsense.
It's garbage, isn't it?
It's nonsense.
Terrible.
It's nonsense. We'll buy, we'll love, but
Yes.
it's nonsense. It's no Geostorm, put it that way. And more interestingly, Midnight Run, the classic in the States from Shout Factory. Now, no UK release, but we all know that in this country, Universal have the rights for Midnight Run. And if anyone's going to do 4K Universal in this country, it's going to be them there at Arrow. So fingers crossed for an Arrow 4K release, please, of Midnight Run. But I saved the best till last until Kaz wantonly graffiti
Crossed it
my
out.
notes.
Crossed it right out and
Speaking of-
replaced it.
No, you can wait, sir. You can wait. US only announcements. The best 4Ks of the year for me is nigh. It is Dragon Slayer from Paramount, who have confirmed, obviously, a brand new spiffy 4K Dolby Vision. It is also getting a new Atmos track. It has got a wealth of new extras, and the Steelbook is a thing of beauty. So all you people who want the Abyss, don't. Well, all right, yes, get The Abyss, but also buy Dragon Slayer, the best dragon film ever. And then Kaz wrote some about Assault on Precinct 13. But we all know that that's a load of old toss. So that's me. That's me done. That's all I could find in terms of new 4K. Not a lot.
Okay, fine. I'm going to stick a pin in TV.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's it.
With the best
last,
TV show.
The last of TV.
Oh, come on!
I'm going to make you wait 2 weeks.
Too woke. Too woke.
2 more episodes. Go on, tell us a little bit about The Last of Us.
Okay, only
That's
super
enough.
briefly. Watch The Last of Us. It's great. If you've played the game, you'll friggin' love it. If you've not played the game, you'll friggin' love it. It's the best TV in ages.
Nice. Even I'm
Okay.
watching it and enjoying it. That
Ooh.
tells you something.
Oh, maybe I'll give it a go then.
Yeah, let's all
saw-
do...
It's better than Picard. Sam.
I saw-
Well, that's not hard, mate.
There you go.
I saw somebody online who in praise of it said that it's really amazing that with dedication and the right creative team, you absolutely can translate from a game exhausting toxic fandom to TV, and it's absolutely true.
I was going to recommend that we all watch Picard
Oh,
for the next.
Why?
No.
No.
I'm
Do
joking.
that to
I'm
us.
joking.
Not gonna
I think we
happen.
should all
No,
watch a
not-
couple of
not.
episodes of Last of Us before the next one.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
I'm up to speed
All
apart
right.
from today.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't
me
say
too.
that. You could have saved yourself the homework. When the kids do that to me, I'm like, just keep it quiet if you've done it already.
Like you're having me do this instead of watching it, which I resent you for.
Okay, well, go away and watch it then.
Okay, bye.
Just our last recommendation was to watch. Well, I can't even remember what our last
Neither
one
can
was.
I.
But our one from like a year ago was to watch Strange New Worlds, and Tom finally did it.
oh
I
yes.
So welcome to 2022,
Well, I watched
Tom.
two episodes.
I know,
Oh.
but you really enjoyed it. You said it was the best Trek ever.
I
with
didn't
an
say that.
A.
I
So-
didn't say that. I said it is the least bad of new Trek.
You didn't.
Which
You
is
said
true.
Could this be the best Trek?
I did not say
You
that.
literally said it. I'm going to put it up in the chat.
I
Literally
believe
Fine.
you, Kaz.
For
I
the rec-
believe you.
For the
There you go.
record, I did not say that.
best Trek. But Tom said it's the best Trek.
I said
better-
it's
Better than
easily
Picard.
it's easily as good as any given episode of Enterprise. Which
From the 4th season.
is no, the first two that I watched, it was like watching 2 episodes of Star Trek, which was a
Yeah.
breath of fresh air.
Yeah, it was nice.
So yeah, I'm going to watch the rest of it now,
Good.
having sworn off Star Trek forever after Picard
I
season 2.
we kept telling you to try it. Anyway, I'm glad we got you on board. We're all going to watch The Last of Us because you told us so, and not because we
Yes.
were already watching it.
No.
And we're going to do a podcast competition. We're going to start the year with a 4K prize. If you'd like to win a copy of Disney's Turning Red on 4K, use the following question to select the correct answer from the competition page. What color panda is in Turning Red? And I haven't messed with the color timing on it.
Is that a trick question? Because black or white? Oh, it's 2. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, you swine, you devil.
Well, the answer isn't Ontario.
All pandas have white on them.
Oh, the answer isn't
Oh.
Ontario or Chinese Canadian. So I think we're okay.
What?
Are those are the choices for the
Those are
competition?
the
Oh,
other
okay,
choices.
right.
There's only one choice. Is actually
Only one
colour.
choice is a color. Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's not gonna be a hard one for people who are in the know. Right, coming soon. Tom's gonna see Quantumania and Ant-Man 3, the longest of all the Ant-Man movies, but still not 3 hours, disappointingly.
Apparently, yeah.
Mark's gonna hopefully have his second sight Martin 4K disc. I'm going to probably talk about how Wakanda Forever looks better on IMAX enhanced Disney streaming with a pretty good Atmos track than it does on disc. But I haven't got the disc yet, so I can't actually say that legitimately. But it does look pretty good. And we're going to get Simon some 4Ks. We're going to get
Wait, will will Cocaine Bear be out by the time we do another podcast?
Oh, trailer. Yes.
You use the words "do" and "cocaine" in the same sentence, so I'm confused about what you're asking me.
Oh.
I think maybe it won't. I think it's the very end of the month, so I think maybe it'll be the podcast after where we get to talk about how awful Cocaine Bear is.
It looks
disappointing.
Amazing.
Yeah, right. It's going to be a massive letdown.
It's going to be a massive letdown. It's all in the title. It's just never going to live.
Snakes on a Plane Part 2. Like, it's like if you've read the title, you've got the joke. That's it.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Mark can check out Django on Sky. I'm going to look at Carnival Row Season 2, the show that I quite enjoyed, but is coming back for a second and final season. I didn't expect there to be, but okay. And none of us are going to watch Picard. I'm just warning you, none of us are going to watch Picard Season 3. If a Picard Season 3 review appears, it's because of Chat GPT. You know, it's
man. I am going to get Chat GPT to write a review of an imaginary Picard Season 3 in advance.
Okay, yeah. Why did we say that live? We could have actually done anyway. Epic fail. Right, let us know if there's anything that you'd like us to cover that we haven't covered, but we really cover everything. And if we don't, it's not worth it.
And if someone says Picard Season 3, you're banned.
Yeah, people are going to say Picard Season 3. We'll get you one of those. It'll be authentic. Don't worry about it.
Lockwood and Co. I'm watching Lockwood and Co. this week. I might, if I finish it, I might write about that.
Write about Picard Season 3? Yeah.
Yeah, if I finish Lockwood and Co., I'll write about Picard Season 3. Yeah. Don't watch Picard Season 3. Watch Lockwood and Co. It's quite fun so far.
You've watched 10 minutes.
No, I've watched the first episode and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, nice. All right. Anyway, we just got to the end.
Save that
What's happening?
Save that
save it for next time when you watch Picard. Tell us about Lockwood.
Okay.
That's it. I'm saying.
Hurrah!
So thank you, Mark. Boom.
You're very welcome, Kazan 99.
Thank you, Simon, for coming back.
My pleasure.
I don't.
To the freezing cold
you
from
were going to
the
return.
lovely sun of Australia.
Yes, you're not bitter at all.
Not bitter at all. Just to see Tom's jacket has made it all worthwhile.
Oh yeah, what's the jacket again, Tom?
It's like a graphic print of like.
I need to go.
If you're inside,
I need to go.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Plus, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out when we publish our live streams, product reviews, and more. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook and bookmark avforums.com for the latest reviews, news, and videos. Plus, why not give us a 5-star rating on whichever service you use, if they allow it, but only if you enjoyed the show. I'm Kaz Harlow. Thank you for watching and listening, and join us for the next podcast, 20th of Feb. Bye.